Are there any questions about any of that before I turn it over to Siobhan, who's going to introduce Bill, and then he's going to introduce our featured guest today. Any questions?
Well, let me just it's you kind of got lost in the mix, CJ. So I just wanted to let sort of give you an introduction, even though everybody probably already knows you. But those of you that don't know, CJ Rhodes, she's the founder and director of Health, Prosperity, and Leadership, HPL. And as you can see on the banner here, HPL does the technical production on these things. And what HPL is doing by making these things possible is really an extraordinary service and gift to all of us, because what we're doing is we're bringing on the leading minds in consciousness and mind-body science, and we're bringing on, in the words of Nikola Tesla, perhaps the greatest scientist in history, we're bringing on the most important scientists doing the most important science in the history of science, and you're not seeing them on television. And so we decided, okay, well, we're just going to bring this to the people, because a couple of years back we got information from Princeton University born research project that showed that World Tai Chi and Qigong Day had actually created greater coherence in global consciousness. And so before we had focused on the medical research, which is mountainous for Tai Chi, Qigong, and mindfulness practices and meditation practices. But then we became much more focused as well on the consciousness science. And so we're bringing these cutting edge people onto this program, and HPL is making this possible through this monthly project. So, and CJ is she serves the mind, body, and the Tai Chi and Qigong community on so many levels, in so many different ways. You don't see it. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that. And so,
well, thank you, Bill. I do appreciate that. And I have to add that Siobhan also is one of the movers and shakers behind all of the events and all of the different things that are going on. She is the main person that manages these global transformation project panels. She gets the speakers, she arranges the Zoom, she's doing yeoman's job on making sure that this all happens. And I just help her when necessary, but she's really been doing it.
This is for the benefit of all of us, right. All the mind body community. So please, everybody, start sharing these things with other people, because the YouTube algorithms don't promote these programs. They promote programs that make them a lot of money. So it's up to us to share what Siobhan and CJ and everybody that puts so much effort, and the scientists that we bring on, people like Mohamed Essa that are doing research on a clinical level. And please, everybody, start sharing these things, because this is just a free public service. So sorry, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. You do have a habit of not letting us finish what we are doing. I know you're so excited about all things and want to jump, but I do want to say Siobhan is the owner of Next Step Strategies, which she does a wonderful work with people. Not only she teaches Qigong and energy exercise and Reiki, and does a whole bunch of other things, but she also helps people with their lives themselves. The people that work with improve their lives dramatically and specifically. So I encourage you to seek her out if you are looking for either Qigong or Reiki or any of those wonderful things. She will also be doing a workshop at the Tai Chi Park, the Master Samwa Tai Chi Festival in July. That's July 14th, 15th, and 16th. She'll be doing a workshop. I will not be doing a workshop because I'll be running it, so I'll be too busy. And so we decided I just didn't have time to do a workshop on that one. And then Bill and Siobhan and I, all three of us, will be in September. We should be going to the Science of Tai Chi, Osher conference at Harvard University, run by the Osher Center in Boston. So that's going to be a fabulous, very fabulous event. But I with no further ado, I want to introduce Siobhan. Siobhan is going to then introduce Bill as if he hasn't already introduced himself. But go ahead, Siobhan.
Hi, and thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, CJ and Bill, for the more than wonderful introduction. We have over 200 people that wanted to be on today's program, which I think is fantastic. So we have a small group right now, so maybe later on they'll join us. But just in case you don't know this, all of our presentations are recorded, and they're later helped by Bill Douglas and put on YouTube. So you can also see replays of any of our presentations. Bill, is Angela with you right now?
She is not here right now, but I'm hoping she'll be back any second now. Yeah.
All right. Well, we as a community and the world owe a big thanks to Bill and Angela Douglas, because they are the founders of World Tai Chi and Qigong Day, which has been going on globally for over 20 years, close to 25 years now. And this has not only spread the word and helped educate people about Tai Chi and Qigong, but it also has supported the teachers. And so we owe a big thank you to Bill and Angela for helping to promote these wonderful practices. And out of that, the past 30 years, Bill has been collecting research and science on all mindfulness practices, not just Tai Chi and Qigong, but meditation and yoga, and showing that these practices not only affect the individual, but also have profound effects for society as a whole in a most positive manner. So Bill and Angela, we want to thank you so much for your dedication. As we have presented earlier, all of us are volunteers, so we don't charge for any of this, and we kindly encourage you to donate so that we can continue bringing these programs to you. So we are donation based, and Bill, you can also send comments or issues in the chat. Thank you, CJ. And Bill, are you do you still have these beautiful t-shirts?
Yes, the World Tai Chi Day t-shirt, that became our fundraiser for World Tai Chi Day, because me and Angie were going broke paying for all this out of our pocket. And so yeah, you can still get some t-shirts, but order them right away, because Angie needs to know as soon as possible.
And
so if
they're beautiful, and it lists all the countries and everything. So, and they're wonderful to have, and as giveaways for students as well.
If you go to worldtaichiday.org, you can order a t-shirt, but also the donations you were speaking about, Siobhan. If you go to globaltransformationproject.org, you'll see a tax-deductible donation link very close to the top if you just scroll down a little. And so you can go to globaltransformationproject.org and make donations, and then sign the petition while you're there, and then try to get anybody who knows mind-body benefits, get them to sign that petition.
Okay, wonderful. So Bill, would you like to introduce our wonderful, I'm so excited personally to have him with us today. Would you like to introduce our wonderful guest?
Yeah, I've been really looking forward to this, Mohamed. Mohamed Essa. We got to know each other years ago through World Tai Chi Day, and Mohamed started organizing World Tai Chi Day and World Healing Day, with meditation and yoga and everything on the last Saturday of April, World Tai Chi Day in Cairo, Egypt. And he just blew our minds. I mean, he organized these massive events, and he got the Chinese embassy and the Indian consulate to support their World Tai Chi Day event in Cairo, Egypt. And it was just huge, thousands of people. And then they got coverage by national and international media. And so Mohamed Essa has been an incredible inspiration to me and to the Tai Chi and Qigong community worldwide, as well as far beyond that. But definitely in the Tai Chi and Qigong community, it's been a huge influence. And Mohamed is just one of those shining lights Yeah, it's like you look at him and you just know there's these great things that are just shining through, and then you start to see them over time. And so at this point, I would just like to turn this over to you, Mohammed. So thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate you being part of this.
Yes, thank you very much, Bill, for these nice words. Actually, really appreciate the everything you do, and also the event that I'm invited to today. And I want to thank CJ and Shaban for the organization, and Angela also for helping you in that event. And I would like to say to you personally, Bill, thank you very much. We are friends from a long time. And I'm really happy actually to be here today. I'm part of this project, the Global Transformation Project. I'm really excited about the idea, and I like the idea a lot. And I think that I will share with you something that you will like today about the children learning the mind-body science, and you will see, I think, something you will be excited about. So
I'm excited right now. You're mentioning what you just said. I'm extremely excited about this.
Yeah, and I would like to thank the people coming from the Middle East who are joining today to this event. I see a lot of people coming from Egypt and Tunisia and Lebanon and other Arabian countries. Thank you very much for joining this event. And I would like that if you can support this movement by sharing the information about this movement, because we need it to be a global worldwide movement that everyone will be aware about and know about the importance about raising children and a community aware about the healing effect of mind, body, and to create a better world. Thank you very much for joining us today. Bell, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is one thing I just want to mention really quick is it's so fascinating how the universe works. And I know just from knowing you that you're gonna resonate with what I'm talking about. But it's like, as we paint these visions, it's like it becomes a magnetic force, and the universe just starts bringing things to support it.
Yeah.
If it's on track. And so this week, we were processing the photos and the videos from World Tai Chi Day events around the world. And we got so many photos and videos of young school-aged children doing Tai Chi and Qigong and meditation and stuff. And so I hadn't seen that in previous years. I mean, a little bit, but not to the extent. And then then I found out that you were going to show some of the video from what you've been doing with children. And so now I've already been talking to Siobhan and CJ. I'm starting a global transformation project video that's going to incorporate these scenes of children, school-aged children around the planet that are doing this stuff, how accessible it is to them. And so that'll become like a real big video in the Global Transformation Project. So.
Yes, I'm really excited about the idea of that movement, and because I believe that the mental capability is not related to age. So the kids and the children can learn what we have, and we have learned it maybe while we are adults, in their teens or maybe less. If we will introduce that in the right way, they will have the ability to learn that. And I will share with you some videos to show you that some of the kids that they used to come to our center, our healing center in Egypt, in Cairo, they used to come with their moms. They didn't attend the class, but they saw their moms practicing the class. And you will see, I will show you some videos, what they picked up. We didn't intend to teach them, but they are curious to know what we are doing, and they are picking the information while they're playing. They didn't sit that as we are doing and concentrating. They are playing and moving and running inside the room, and they picking all the information. And we found that we found that while they are playing, they're doing the healing session for each other. And then I started asking, what are you doing? And they say, one of the kids, she said, I'm doing for her a healing session. And asked her, from where did you learn that? She told me that from my mom. I saw my mom doing that, so I am doing that to my sister. Then and that brought the awareness to my mind that these pure souls can also be can heal us and send us loving energy, healing energy, because they are pure. They have a pure heart and pure mind. And energy healing is about pureness. The more we clean ourselves and clean our mind and clean our intention, the powerful the healing. So these pure souls are already ready to do that if we will teach them something that can meet their capabilities and their mind and their imaginations. Because I found them, they learn by imagination. When I asked that kid, so what you do, can you tell me exactly what you do? She told me, I imagine there is a bolt of light is going to the pain of my sister, a bolt of light going to the pain of my sister, and this bolt of light kiss the pain. And when it kisses the pain, it takes the pain away. I was fascinated. I felt fascinated about the description and the imagination that she created. Oh, I said, oh, that's a very good idea. And she was around 7 years old. She
Wow.
was 7 years old. And I will show you videos. I will show you videos about that. You will see that.
Mohammed, that her insight was so brilliant, because the thing that we're coming to terms with the science and also our practice, of experiencing and playing with these things, is because I've taught in hospitals for 30 years now, and one of the big consciousness shifts that we have, if we're going to get the benefits out of mind body when we're approaching physical health issues, is to get past this idea that we're fighting with a disease. There's no war,
yes.
There's no combat, there's no fighting.
Yeah.
And so this little girl's insight of the light kissing the pain,
Yes.
that's profound. That's really
profound. Well, actually, the healing is following the intention. If we are thinking that we are going a war against the disease, then it will be a war. And the disease is a kind of consciousness, and this consciousness will defend itself because I'm invading this consciousness. So this consciousness will respond back, and this is the theory of the chromatic healing. We don't have a negative energy, and we don't have a positive energy. It's just a plain energy, and the intention of the chromatic healing is reaching balance, not to take the negative out or put the positive in. Because when you say I want to take something out and put something in, that means that there is bad and there is good. There is no bad and there is no good, but it is an energy is being used by the body. And the theory of the chromatic healing is based on the idea of energy. It is strong enough to understand what kind of energy is moving in our body. So if there is a kind of energy, and you call it disease, illness, headache, psychological imbalance, whatever you call it, it's a kind of energy, and it is to serve you. And the way we look to the chromatic healing and the way we see how chromatic works, and we ask one main question: how this can be a good thing. For example, if someone have itching in his hand, at the back of the hands. So the question is how this can serve the body, how this is good for the body, how this is good for me. When I ask this question, I start to understand the behavior of the body, why the body is taking this defense. We say that disease, but it's not a disease, it's just a feedback. And this is also one of the main rules, or one of the main points in the chromatic healing, that there is no disease, there is just a feedback. If we will think about this way, we will think it that way, we will able to understand how to heal ourselves, because our body is strong enough to get back us back to the balance. And what we have in our body, what happening inside our body, it's just a feedback. It can be a physical feedback towards something that I ate, or it can be a psychological feedback regarding emotions or a behavior or what I believe about myself or about the world. And these give us a feedback. It can be a positive feedback or a feedback that I don't like, and I call it a disease, but it's just a feedback.
You know,
Mohammed, would you like to show the video now?
Yeah, I will. I have a presentation. I can.
one thing before you get into
Yeah.
it, Mohammed, one thing I just want to mention real quick is you
Yeah.
were talking about how, as we do mind body stuff, it's like we start to see, like you were saying, there's no good or bad. There's just information coming at us, And
Yeah.
I was just, just this week I was pondering, this journey that we've taken, and I remembered certain things that happened during the journey, where people where people expressed something to me that made me really angry at the time. It felt like it was like an attack or an insult or whatever.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I realized that it was like a gift. It was like a gift.
Yes, it is.
Because then it made me make sure that I didn't become what it was they were accusing me of becoming. You know what I mean? So they were my ally, even though, you know what I mean? It was an attack, but it was a gift at the same time.
Yes, yeah. It is just a feedback that there's something wrong is happening, and it is according to your psychology. You decide to attack or to rephrase or to handle or to embrace. This is your strategy. So according to your awareness and the level of consciousness, you react. But the feedback is just a feedback. And so that's why we need to separate between the feedback and the action. And the disease is a kind of our physical action. So if we will deal with the trauma or with the stress as in a better way, the disease will not come on the surface.
Dr. Herbert Benson at Harvard, his analysis led to him stating that between 60 and 90% of all the health issues sending people to doctors are heavily influenced by stress and best treated by or prevented by mind-body practices. So that was at Harvard, where they said up to 90% of health issues virtually caused by stress. And Kaiser Permanente did a 20-year study, and there's Dr. David Sobel told me that their figures showed, depending on how you look at them, that number could go as high as 85%. So 85% of the illnesses sending people to their doctors being caused by stress. So what you're saying is, we're in a really unique time in human history because science is backing up the statements that you're making, which mystics have been making for thousands of years, right? What you're saying. But you, Mohamed Essa, now have science behind it. This is really an extraordinary.
Yeah. Actually, the theory of chromatic healing believes that there is no differentiation between the physical and the psychological and the spiritual. We are all one, and whatever in the physical get reflected and mirrored on the psychological and the spiritual also, and the emotional and mental. So if there is a small change in the mental, can be reflected on the other pillars also. So it always there, but it can be differ by the amount and the value and the percentage. But in all pillars, it exists. Whenever I change in one, it changes all the others, because it's dynamics. It's a kind of dynamics.
Cool. Well, I'll get out of your way and let you start your presentation, Mohamed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to share my screen. If you can. Give me the permission, I can share the screen on the account that
we already gave you permission. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it say I have two accounts that I use on my computer. It's called Mohamed Essa presentation. If you can give me the permission.
Right, that's the one we gave the share permission to.
Okay.
So you should be able to share. Do you have the green share button?
It says that I did. It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
All right, let me try something else. Go ahead, try again.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's now. Oh, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. My presentation today, it will be about the chromatic healing. I will give a fast information about the chromatic healing, and then I will go to share some of the results of chromatic healing on the kids and children and who suffered from autism, and I will show you some videos also for kids and children who practice the chromatic healing, and that's the interesting part here today. Okay. In this slide, you can see what we call, and most of the schools call, negative energy, and we refer to that as a black energy around the body, and that what most of the schools believe, that we may be attacked by a negative energy, or maybe or we may suffer from negative energy, and that can be in the aura or on the meridians or in the acupoints. The theory of the chromatic healing, and that's the main idea of the chromatic healing, that our body have colors, and these colors is frequencies. So the idea of the chromatic healing, as you see the diagram, this is the exact colors of chromatic healing that we have in chromatic healing, that our colors is running all over our body. It forms like a meridians. It's different than the meridians of the Chinese medicine one, but it's related to the nervous system, and you can see that colors here. And the idea of the chromatic healing is keeping the body color balanced, as you see in the photo. Here is in a normal state, and you can see the colors are homogeneous and very nice. It looks nice. And here, in case of disease, for example, here that person have a kind of inflammation in the throat, and that's why the color change, and we can see that the chromatic healing that have more red energy, and you can see the limbs, the hands and the legs are more bluish, which may refer there is a kind of sensation of coldness, and he suffered a heat in the throat and the coldness in the limbs. And according to the sensation, the colors change. And the aim of the chromatic healing is how we get back these colors to a normal state, because there is a relation between the colors and the state we are in. And the chromatic healing also believe that we have an aura around our body. And this aura is from the biolight. And we based our theory, one of the theories in the chromatic healing, that our body is emitting light, and that was based on a German scientist research, that there is a kind of emission of biolights that's coming out of the body, and if there is any disturbance in that light, that also will affect our health. So restoring the light is restoring our health. And here where we put the same person again, so the inflammation also will affect the light around the body, not only the body vibration and color, but also the light. You see the aura have a red energy and have a blue energy also, which refer to the coldness. That means that he may feel cold, or actually he's feeling cold because it's blue. The chromatic healing also is worked on the meridians, and plus the aura and the energy points, and also we work on the internal organs. And the main point of the chromatic healing is restoring the balance of the light and all this in the meridians, the internal organs, and the aura. While I was teaching in Lebanon, an occupational therapist that worked with the children came to one of my courses, and she was a specialist in the autism. She was working with autism through sessions and therapy to help the children. After that, it came to my mind to develop a way how I can work with a big number of children. And as chromatic healing work with colors, I said, okay, I will develop a way that the children can use to color a mandala. And through these colors, they can help them to encourage their nervous system to heal. And the orders, we give them the colors in order. And this order is something like a code. and we need to deliver the colors and orders, because when we give the colors and orders to the children, it empowers their nervous system, and it sends like a color code to heal and to empower the body to I can say to activate the self-healing program. And this is one of the one of the photos I took in my classes, that after they finish the mandalas, they always paint three mandalas, and if you can, and this pair of colors is kind of coding, and this do the session for the kids. And for example, here I'm showing like a photo, like before session and after session, what happened in the aura, or what happened in the as balancing the whole aura. Yeah, and thank you very much. This was a very fast presentation about the idea of chromatic healing, and I would like to share with you the effect of chromatic healing on the children in the case of autism, by specialists, the psychologists, and occupational therapists, therapy specialists also, and one of the mothers, and we'll show you the kids doing also in the video. Also, you will see the kids doing the chromatic healing for someone else. Okay, I will share the videos here also. Yeah, this.
Psychologist and practicing
can you hear?
I work in the field of
Yes.
Yeah.
with a special
Can you maximize it? Click on the little button on the
Okay.
bottom.
Wait, okay. I will.
It's
wait.
the little double-headed arrow.
Yeah, okay. I will try to do it again. Optimize video clip. Yes, that's it.
from disorder.
Yeah,
Hello,
that's it.
I'm Fatima Fadil from Lebanon. I'm psychologist and practicing chromatic healing since 2017. I work in the field of behavior modification for children with special needs, such as Down syndrome, mental retardation, and children with autism spectrum disorder. Since I studied the first level of chromatic healing, I started applied it to children with the aim of modifying unwanted behaviors, such as violence, lying, and excessive shyness, and stimulating other behaviors such as self-esteem and enhancing self-confidence. Then I started applying it to children with autism spectrum disorder, whom I had been following for a while, and there was a girl who had severe nervous seizures. For several months, I tried methods of behavior modification with her, but the change was very slow. After 4 sessions of chromatic, I can say that the seizures have decreased by 80%, and this is a very record time. It really looks like a miracle. After my experience with chromatic from 6 years ago until today, I can say that is one of the safest and most effective ways to develop children's skills and modify their behaviors. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Farah Sheikh Ali. I'm an occupational therapist since 2012, graduated from the Lebanese University, and a chromatic healer since 2016. Within those years, I worked in the pediatric field with kids having autism spectrum disorder, cerebral palsy, learning disabilities, behavioral issues, and even developmental delays. Within my long journey, having the chromatic healing as a methodology was a turning point for me. I started using it during the level 1 training with a kid having hyperactivity who he wasn't able to sit down even with a 6-month follow-up before the chromatic healing. I used a technique in the chromatic healing called 4 gates, and then within 2 minutes this kid sat down and we started working on tabletop activities. Honestly, to me, as an occupational therapist, it was a huge surprise, but it was really a turning point where I decided to start using chromatic healing with all my clients. Within the last 6 years or 7 years using the chromatic healing, I observed and documented a lot of results in relation to this methodology. I know that chromatic healing has the ability to make the results faster and more efficient for kids to improve their abilities on the motor level or physical level, on a sensory level, on an intellectual level, and even on a behavioral level. I believe that this technique is really a miracle and can change the life of those kids. I would like to tell you as an example that I observed and documented a lot of improvements with kids having ASD, autism spectrum disorder, concerning their ability to eye contact others. With chromatic healing, the kid may start eye contacting other after 3 sessions, which is not the case with the traditional follow-up, where the kid may need 10 to 15 sessions at least to show some improvements with this ability. Thank you so much.
Abdurrahman was a child who was in a real need of care. He moved from a child who needs a care from all life aspects, like the physical care and daily care and feeding and teaching, and all these things need to be done from A to Z. And after the chromatic healing, Abdurrahman was able to do things by his own. He was able to ask for the water and say, I'm thirsty, and get the water for himself. Before he was just crying and we couldn't know why he is crying. After that, Abdurrahman was able to feed himself, drink by himself, and go to the bathroom by his own, and he can wear his clothes and choose by his own also, and plus other skills. And that's in addition to the normal autism therapy sessions. And he made a very good development in the self-care skill. For the first year, regarding the visual communication and skill, the visual communication skills and the imitating skill, it was hard. After 3 months of doing the chromatic healing sessions, he gave me the signs that he can see me and he can hear me, and he started to say words. I felt that Abdurrahman made jumps in his development. Things that he didn't learn, he started to say or also he started to use the skills that he learned in his daily life, and that gave me awareness that he is aware about the environment around him. I thought before that he disconnected and he is in his own world of and he started to ask and point the idea that he can point or imitate or communicate visually or ask for something that before that was really hard.
You can see now this is Zain, and he is doing a session. He's doing a session for his grandma. He's 4 years old, by the way. Zain is 4 years old, and he is imitating his mother. She's asking her, are you okay? And this Mariam, she's 9 years old now. In this video,
ماشي جاهزة يا مريم؟ هتعملي ايه الأول؟ هتعملي ايه؟ ماشي يا مريم. انت بالك قد ايه بتعملي كروماتيك؟ سنتين. ماشي، سنتين ولا 3؟
يا اما 30
يا اما 4 من ساعة ما بدأ الكروماتيك، صح؟ من 4 سنين يا مريم. ماشي صح، مش فارقة. يلا ورينا اعملي. هتعملي لمين؟ تعملي انجي؟ تشتغل على ايه؟ يا واسأليها الأول، قول لها ايه اللي انت هتشتغل عليه، اسأليها. يلا خلاص يلا.
By the way, she is doing a real session here. Mariam is 9 years old and she's doing a real session.
ركزي قوي. ماشي، ركزي أكتر. حلو.
Mohammed, is she doing this for herself or for someone else?
She's doing it for Angie. The person is sitting in front of her, and she pointed that she has a pain in her chest, and now she's doing for her the session.
Now, is she conscious of moving energy, or is she doing physical?
Yeah. Actually, she is 9 years old at that video, and she started to learn that when she was 4 years. So she is 5 years experience in that video, and she's focusing on the pain and sending light to that pain.
كويس. اشرحي لنا عملتي ايه يا مريم؟
جبت نور القمر وركزت عليه، خليت المكان اللي بيوجعها ده ينور.
تتخيلي ازاي بقى؟ تخيلي نخش عندها ازاي؟
بتخيل ان يعني الاشعه بتاعت النور بتدخل في المكان ده.
قلتي لي قبل كده بتخيلي فيه كور بيضة؟ ولا انت اللي قلتي لي كده ولا مين؟ مش انت كده. طب بتتخيلي ايه بقى؟ يعني لقيتي ايه عندها؟ كان في ايه عندها؟
هو كان في وجع، وبعد كده بقى انا خرجته واديت بدل الوجع ده نور القمر.
ماشي حلو، بس حلو نور القمر. ماشي يا ستي. عايز تقولي حاجة تانية؟ ماشي.
Yes, that's all.
Wow. Yeah. Mohamed, thank you so much for doing the subtitles. I know how painstaking that is, but that's so important. Yeah, I'm so glad. This is really beautiful.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to share with you the full experience, and so you can understand what's the conversation also, because and the amazing thing that they are conscious about what they are doing, and they ask questions, and they say, what is the pain? For example, Zayn is 4 years old, and he asking his grandma where is the pain, and she asked her to point on her leg, and he started to do a session, and he is 4 years old, and he was able to get that from his mother. And Mariam is 9 years old, and she started to pick that from the ages of 4 also. And this is an amazing information for us that we can teach our children and kids from starting from 4, and they are aware about the healing. And by the way, when they learn that, they start to use it on each other in case someone fall, someone get headed on the ground or something like that. They start doing session for each other, and it works. The amazing thing is that it works.
Well, you know, another thing that sparks in my mind that's interesting is the research shows that when we go into a state where we're altruistic, where we're concerned about helping others, that it actually has a healing effect on our own DNA. So not only are these kids learning to be healers, but they're healing themselves by becoming healers. You know what I mean? Yeah, how beautiful.
Yes,
Beautiful.
yes, you are right. And actually I would like to participate in this movement because I already see the results that the kids are aware about this kind of this kind of information and science and consciousness, and we are actually by this are pushing the world to be a better place, and be mindfully and be and have the also a kind of movement that support the healing because we need it actually.
Yeah, you know, globaltransformationproject.org, I try not to hold the vision of it too tightly because a lot of times it can become bigger than I can hold in my head. But one of the things that I've kind of seen as it unfolds is that our first goal is to get that United Nations resolution to get meditation, Tai Chi, Qigong, mindfulness, and yoga teachers into public education. So the public educator institutions are bringing mind-body teachers into public education to begin teaching school kids all over the planet because the science on it is so overwhelming. But another aspect to it that I see, unfolding, once we do that, and I'm convinced that we can do it because it just makes such common sense. I mean, we just witnessed this in your video, but the thing that I foresee is that there's going to come a point where we'll while we're doing this, while we're building this global movement of mind-body practices coming together as a family, as a coalition, one of the things that I see is as public educators start to get this into public education around the planet, there's going to be certain teachers or certain methods that are going to be having better effect in schools than in other schools.
Yes.
And so what you just showed us with that video is like a prototype of what I see happening with educators all over the planet, where you're getting results that are measurable by professionals in the field, just like you showed us. And then we'll have a vehicle through globaltransformationproject.org where people like you can start sharing these techniques with mind-body educators working in public education all over the planet, so that it brings the whole teaching of mind-body to a whole nother paradigm. And the other thing that's so exciting is that technology, you were mentioning photographing, energy fields. And one of the things that was so exciting when we were collecting all this data that led to this global project is that there's headbands that you can get. The one that I've used is Muse, but there's probably more than one. And then it has an app that syncs to your phone. And what it does is it reads your brain waves. And so when the brain goes into alpha state, when we let go of control and we go into that energy state, that field state where the mind goes into that, it gives you instant feedback. So we could have school children all over the planet. We could be using technology to actually take these ancient mind-body practices to a whole other level.
Yes. And the good thing is about okay, go Siobhan, please go.
Sorry. I just wanted to step back for a moment, if we could, because Mohamed, your background is so intriguing. I mean, you come from a physics and engineering background. Can you explain how you got into this and how you created this program?
Okay, well, actually, I'm originally an engineer. I used to work as a computer engineer. I used to work for IBM, and I worked for IBM for 8 years. And before, I worked for the university for 4 years, almost in the engineering field, 12 years. And then I resigned, and I started to work in the mind-body as a professional. And I used to study the mind-body science from the time I was in the school. So it was something like a hobby for me. And I traveled to China. I studied the Chinese medicine. While I was studying in China and Beijing, the Chinese medicine, I found something very interesting, that what I studied in the engineering college is resonating a lot. What is the Chinese call it the meridians? And I said, okay, for sure, the medical doctors will not find the meridians, because it is not something physical. It is something electrical. It's electricity. It's something like waves or information or vibration. So you cannot get, for example, the wires or and you are looking inside the wires for the electricity, and you cut it and you start to look, what is electricity? You not find it. You find electricity only while it was working. So to find the meridians, we need to work on a living being and looking for the electricity that's going through them. And I started to combine what I studied in the engineering college with the Chinese medicine and the ancient Egyptian also. As the ancient Egyptian is in the history, the oldest school of healing with colors. And also there is I was I can say interested to read a lot of researches about the light and colors, and until I came with a research was a doctor, a German doctor. His name is Dr. Fritz. And Dr. Fritz had a theory that says that our body is emitting light, and he's a pioneer, one who is an engineer. He discovered that our body is emitting light, and he said the disease is a disturbance in the light. If we are able to restore the light, we are able to restore the health. And he started to create a machine that is start to emit a biolight that emphasizes the body to get back again in the healing state. And there is a lot of researches about the biolight, and there is a research about the can diagnose what is happening inside the body by just what is being emitted around the body. And there is a lot of research that says that maybe that was the Chinese speaking about. This biolight, but there is no research that confirmed this biolight is the meridians. The research is in the way, but at least in the chromatic healing we say something, because we base that in the biolight, Dr. Fred's work, and the Chinese medicine, and the ancient Egyptian, the working with colors, and the engineering concepts. And I combined all of this, and I say that we are a healing machine by our nature. We are a healing machine. There is no negative energy, and there is no positive energy. There is just a disturbance in the energy. If we are, and there is a reason behind that. The body have a strong reason to have the disease, because it is for the body benefit. It's not a wrong information that we think. It's not a wrong behavior from the body. It is not that the cells got mad. It's not like that. Our body is perfect. And to understand what the body is doing, we need to think that our body doesn't have something wrong. It is totally right. If we will think about that, we will understand what the virus is doing in our body, and what is the bacteria is doing in our body, and what is the illness is doing in our body, and why we have a high cholesterol, and why we have a kind of fats in our body. Everything's happened for a reason, and we need to believe it's a good reason. And that chromatic healing is based on that idea. And that's why I think that the kids can learn chromatic healing, because it's a positive intention. It's based on a positive intention. Anyone, and as I'm the founder of chromatic healing and the teacher, anyone have a positive intention can do chromatic healing. And that's why you can find the kids doing that. In some other schools, the healing is complicated. And I say that, as I'm coming from an engineering background, I can say that our universe is based on and have been created by the idea of simplicity. So the simple things work better and faster and more efficient than the complex things. So whenever you create a paradigm or a model that is very simple and very effective, then you have to know that you are in the right way.
Mohamed, yeah. There's a famous quote, and I wish I could remember who said it, but he said, truth is always simple, but humanity will stampede all over itself trying to get to something more complicated. it'll stampede all over simple truth to try to get
Yes,
something
you're right.
more complicated. And
I-
that's, well, one of the things that you just alluded to, Mohammed, was how the body is a healing machine.
You're right.
And we've
Your
had scientists
idea
on
is-
that have talked about how we've had scientists on this program, this monthly program, that talked about how our consciousness doesn't stop at the skull, that it's actually affecting the whole global consciousness. And
Yeah.
as we've become aware of all this, and the science that shows that when you get just a small number, 1% of a city's population meditating at a high level, that it dramatically reduces the violent crime for the whole society. And so I've come to realize, or I've come to see, that our whole planet, all these complicated trials and tribulations that we get on the news 24 hours a day, if we subject ourselves to that punishment, it's not true. The truth of the matter is that it's really quite simple to heal the woes of the planet. And and like we've been talking about, if we can get this to kids at a very young age, because you look at those kids, it just seemed like the most natural thing in the world for them. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like you were teaching them anything weird or anything. It just seemed like they just, resonated to it. Because you said they just picked it up, some of them on their own, just from being around their parents.
I love that you combined so much of your background and you, just like Bill has done too, has taken so much of your history and knowledge and created this. Could I ask you, how did you determine what colors to use on different areas of the body? How was that? Was that from the Egyptian, or was it trial and error on your part?
Okay, I use the theory of the physics on color, and that's why, and that's the physics part, the color physics of the light, the physics of the colors of the light. As Dr. Fred said that our body is emitting light, and I said, okay, if we shoot that light, we'll follow the science and the rules of the normal physics light. And I started to apply that and combine that physics of light plus the Chinese medicine plus the other ancient modalities together, and I came with a new modality, and I found it works very fast. And it has a very good result. As you saw in the video, the specialist like Farah Sheikh and Fatima from Lebanon, and by the way, we have Farah with us today in the room in the meeting, and she's a specialist in that field, and she can share also. You can ask her that how the chromatic healing and this idea improved the healing process for the autism children, and how that made it very fast. And the amount of improvement, when I measured that, was Farah. She told me at least between 50 to 80 in some cases, and that's why I want to share that with the world, because a lot of families and parents suffers from that imbalance with what's called autism.
Now, Mohamed, you want to come to the United States in October. You want to have a 3-day workshop in New York City area, correct? And but we could use some help in finding a venue, though. That's the thing. So I'm just throwing it out there. If anybody knows a venue in the New York City or Newark area in October, correct?
Yeah, we were looking for a venue in a hotel that can take 50% to teach them the chromatic healing in 3 days, actually.
Well, I'm the first one to register.
Yeah, I'm happy that I'm coming to the US actually to teach you the chromatic healing. That's actually a big move in the chromatic healing, to extend that outside of the Middle East and go to the States. And I would like to share that with the people there.
Well, once we get the UN resolution, my hope is that people like you that have shown what the effects, will be able to share these kind of techniques with mind-body teachers and public education all over the planet. That's the long-term goal of this. Now, did you say Fatma's here?
Yes, Farah. Yes, Farah.
Farah.
Are you here? Are you with us in the room? In the
Yeah,
meeting?
I'm hearing
Yes,
you. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you.
CJ's gonna spotlight you and take me off. Or okay.
Hi, Farah.
Hi.
Hello.
Do you have anything you'd like to add to what Mohamed and you shared? This is intriguing. This is beautiful.
Thank you so much. I honestly would like to start by thanking Mohamed for being a generous teacher for us by sharing the chromatic healing theory and methodology. Second of all, I would like to tell you that our results that I documented, me and my colleagues, because at our school, at the Chromatic Healing School, we are more than 5 specialists today, all around the Middle East, from Tunisia, Egypt, and Lebanon. And all of us, we are documenting what we are doing with children within the therapy sessions using chromatic healing as a methodology. We had documented the results with kids having genetic disorders that shows a high level of efficiency of the chromatic healing, faster, let's say, results, and a simple way to reach the therapeutical goals quickly. I believe that the chromatic healing, honestly, is one of the best results, because always when we have a kid having delays, developmental delays, we are in a race with the time, with the age of the kid. So having a methodology that will make us reach some goals within 1 week, but with the traditional follow-up and therapy, we need 3 months at least to reach the same goal. To me as a specialist, and even to my colleagues, because we always share this kind of surprise in what's happening and how we can do so. This makes sense to us that the mind-body science and the chromatic healing especially is really helping kids having any type of disability. And we believe that it needs to be spread out widely in a way to help more than the number of kids that we are following up today.
Well, the other thing, because it's kind of like the approach that the Tai Chi and Qigong, because World Tai Chi Day was a big proponent of getting Tai Chi and Qigong science to healthcare, so that we could get it into healthcare and start helping people deal with the issues. But as we're doing this, and the other science that's coming up and stuff, and we see what it did for these kids, is imagine the benefit of getting this into public education, so that even kids that aren't dealing with trauma are benefiting from this. I mean, imagine where these kind of technologies can take, children that are not dealing with these things as well, to just whole other levels of experience. And yeah, and it just, one of the thing that, again, I just wanted to mention, the videos that you showed of the children. The thing that struck me, and it struck me when I see all the mind-body videos that I see that involve children, it just seems like it comes so natural to them. Mm-hmm. It's like we're giving them something that they won't lose. If we give it to them, in education from kindergarten through 12th grade, it's like we'll give them something, because I think we all kind of have abilities like this when we're children, but then they get kind of squeezed out of us, through the society, trying to live in society. And I think, we could, if by offering these tools to kids at a formative age, like 5 years old and up, imagine, I don't even think we can begin to imagine where these kids will take this. They'll go way past what we're thinking right now. Don't you think so, Mohamed?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, what you are doing with the Global Transformation Project is you are changing our belief and the new generation belief about disease and healing. And that's a great idea, actually, to change what we believe about what we are facing. And that's by itself is a healing movement. And we will have a new generation that think better than us. and they will help us in the future also. And there is a rule in the chromatic healing. I always say that change what you believe about what you see, what you saw will change. And that's the main idea, a main rule in the chromatic healing, because you have to heal your idea first. It is not a disease, it's not a problem. It's just a feedback.
Yeah, one of the things in my hospital classes that I evolved to at some point, and it wasn't that I didn't get input from other mind-body teachers, I did, but it took a while for it to gestate in my own teaching. And that's one of the things that I keep telling people, you know, when we're talking about energy or healing or something like that, is we've got to get out of the mindset of thinking that we're doing it. What we want to get in, and I think this really resonates with your approach, is we want to get into the mindset of it's already happening. It's already happening. We're a healing machine.
Yeah.
All we've got to do is get out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Totally right.
I just would like to add something talking about the having these programs within the schools in the future. We as chromatic healers worked with kids having learning disabilities, and especially kids having ADD, attention deficit disorder, and ADHD, which is attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. In both cases, the chromatic healing has a huge result on making the kid focus more on the now, which is being able to enroll a class, study with other children without disabilities. And I believe this will be one of the best results of this movement in the future.
Yeah, that would be so powerful. Just teaching kids how to be in the moment, because really our whole educational system is kind of geared to get them out of that. You know, it's like they're always looking at the test. You know, it's like it's always the test. It's always the, you know, all this, you know, coming stuff. But just teaching them how to just be present in the moment, and then their minds are open and they absorb information. One of the things that really drove us on the Global Transformation Project, and I think chromatic healing, I'm sure, would reflect these same things. But what they found was that mind-body practices increase our IQ, not just by a little bit. I mean, we're talking a substantial increase in IQ from teaching kids how to, you know, be present with their energy body, because that's really, you know, where we're going. And the other thing that it does is it increases their GRE reading score. It increases their math proficiency skill, you know, and it reduces bullying, you know, and all these kind of things. And so it's just, you know, what you guys are doing, I just feel like it's all kind of this swirling that is like the beginning of something that can become a wave, and then a tidal wave, and just wash across this planet.
Yes, yes, Bill. Actually, I'm really happy that we are sharing the results of our chromatic healing, because it actually we believed in that from years, from 2017. It's almost more than 5 years right now. And when Farah noticed that for the first time as an occupational therapist, that the chromatic healing have a result on the kids, I said, okay, the world needs that. And we started to focus on that, and practitioners started to come and to study the chromatic healing and apply it on the kids, and found that it balanced them, it balanced their behavior, it improved their IQ, as you said, because it is based on the idea that our body is a healing machine. We just balance. We are not taking something out, we are not putting things in, and we believe there is a kind of what we are doing is joining the forces of the body. It is not against, and this is a total different theory. We are not against your energy, but we are joining the forces, and we are leading to rebalancing back again.
Now, how long? What was the timeline? How long ago did you guys start focusing on kids the way, like you were just talking about? About how long ago did you start doing that?
We started since 2016 until today. Yeah.
As we organized World Tai Chi Day, and then I became aware of all these scientists that were doing the consciousness science, and seeing how the whole planet is a connected consciousness. You know, it's scientific, it's science now. I realized that when we started organizing World Tai Chi Day, we weren't really organizing World Tai Chi Day. What we did was we were touching into a global vibe that people like you, Mohamed Essa, and like Ariel Bete in Tunisia, and I mean, I could just, this list goes on and on and on. But it was like all you guys were thinking, man, it's time to get this stuff out to a larger public. And then we just happened to touch into it. And then we said, okay, well, we're going to make this worldtaichiday.org and everybody can sign up there. And then we'll all do Tai Chi on the same day. Here's how we get media, but we didn't make it happen. We just provided resources. And you guys were already doing this stuff all over the planet. And now here we are with the Global Transformation Project .org. And I find out that you guys have already been going in this direction. And the more we do this, the more I see mind body people all over the planet. It's like the road it's already been starting to be paved. You guys have been working on this road since 2016.
Yes.
And so now it's like, it's like we're just kind of like hitchhikers, riding along on what you guys are doing all over the planet. You know what I mean? We just catch the wave and surf with you,
Yes, you're right. Totally right. Yes. And I believe that the Global Transformation Project will move very fast because the road is already there. The road is already there.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things World Tai Chi Day showed me, because I didn't realize that people all over the planet are practicing mind-body practices. I thought it was like something that people in California did. You know what I mean? I didn't know people in California and in Cairo, Egypt were doing this. And that's what it really woke me up, because I mean, I remember we got a photograph from a Qigong group on some mountain in Bolivia, and they were Bolivian farmers. They had those little round Bolivian farmer hats on. This is early on, and they sent us a photo. They took photos and they emailed them to us. And so these Bolivian farmers up on top of some just remote mountain in Bolivia had a Qigong group, and it just woke me up, and I realized, oh my God, it's already in place. Everything's in place.
Yes.
And so the way that it's all come together is, mind body stuff. It largely spread from China and India all over the planet, and the Beatles played a big role in that in the West, at least, because I'd never heard of meditation before the Beatles went to India to study with the Maharishi. And so over the period of our lives, I'm a little older than you guys probably, at least I look at it anyway. But it's like over the period of our lives, this mind body stuff has spread all over the planet. There's teachers in every town and every city. And the other thing that has come together during those years is these intrepid scientists have been studying consciousness and mind body, like the people that you're working with, Mohamed. And in a lot of cases, these were very courageous scientists, because I don't know what it's like exactly right now today, but in the very recent past, scientists have put their reputations and their careers on the line to study consciousness. It was forbidden. It's not a written rule, but they all know the rule. And so these courageous scientists dedicated their lives, people like Herbert Benson at
Oh, Bill,
you accidentally muted yourself.
Yeah. Bill, can I interrupt you for a minute? We have some questions from other people. And also, if we have time, Keith would just like to say a quick hello because he's our guest for next month. So Keith, do you want to just pop in for just like a quickie, and then we'll go to Nathan for the question?
I'm not sure what you mean by a quickie.
I'm sorry, Keith. You'll have to forgive me.
You're touching on UK type humor now from the depths.
I'm so sorry. All right. So, Keith, you're going to be our guest next month, and yes. You are the past president of the Tai Chi and Qigong Alliance in the United Kingdom. So do you want to tell people what you'll be talking about next month?
I would be pleased to, and I'll try not to take too much time because my better half is getting ready for bed now, I think, and I'm not allowed to stay too long. I find it very difficult. I am amazed. Mohamed, salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thanks again. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I find I'm surrounded by people who have knowledge, beliefs, dedication to the mind, body, and soul practices in such a depth that it really means that as a hands-on, now Mohamed is an engineer, a qualified engineer. I have a term called marine engineer, but I am not a marine engineer. I am a hands-on person. If you like, I'm a modern day do-it-yourselfer. However, I've traveled extensively throughout the world, and it's only just in the last 20 odd years that I've realized how much people believe in healing themselves. However, my talk, which I can now work on the basis that Mohamed has managed to hold our audience for such a long time, I'm thinking, I'd better do some thinking here to actually keep going. But it's going to be predominantly on what is the Tai Chi and Qigong Union for Great Britain? What are they doing at the present time? How are we going to achieve what we've set out as our aims and visions, which is to have Tai Chi and Qigong approved by the Government Health and Wellness Department of the UK? And in the long term, how can we work with other modalities to ensure that we are all working in a global capacity? Bill, you may not know this, but in December 2003, as I was finishing my full working life, I pulled off, without the company I was working with knowing, all the documentation you had at that time regarding how to become commercial in our activities on providing Tai Chi and Qigong. I did it for nearly 20 years. I no longer teach. I teach in an engineering way. And one of the things that I've noticed is that we in the UK, and probably in many other countries, need professional standards. We have those professional standards in the UK as of the middle of last year for Tai Chi and Qigong health and well-being instructors, not for martial arts. So I'm going to be spending time on how that evolved. And then what I'd like to do is to actually look into where we're dealing at the moment, which is on collaborations. And Siobhan, Bill, CJ, you know I am a darn nuisance, and I'm pressing forward to be able to see how we can all work together across the world. And I'll be hopefully enlightening you and not boring you with how we can look at the overall global transformation project, linking all these fantastic people that I bow to in terms of what you're doing. My next door neighbor has two young lads who have autism. And I'm thinking her mother is a math teacher. Maybe I should be linking Mohamed and Farah up with that neighbor, because she will have influence in a school. I leave you with those thoughts. Hopefully that conveys enough information, because my wife was always saying, you say you don't talk very much, but you bore the pants off of people.
Well, I'm hoping, Mohammed and your neighbor math teacher make this connection, and then next year we can have this success story to talk about on our program. That would be really thrilling.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, and then we'll replay this when we show that.
Yeah. Okay. So for now, I'd like to say thank you very much to everybody who's been listening, especially to Mohamed with all the work you're doing, and to your colleagues, because I ran classes in a primary school for a while, but it was more about what I could give them, but not what they could do to help themselves. So Thank you very much, everybody.
We're really looking forward. We're really looking forward to talking to you more next month, Keith. So everybody, please make sure you go to globaltransformationproject.org and register for next month. So we don't have the new link up, but we'll have it up in the next few days.
Yes.
And register for next month, because you have to re-register every month for these programs.
I would just close in saying that I'm attending a birthday party for my 93-year-old sister-in-law, and I should be working from a hotel who I've yet to talk to about their Wi-Fi links. So I plan to be able to talk to you all as we are doing now. And
they should have a good connection. They should have a good connection there.
Keith, have safe travels, and you and I will hook up on Zoom and do a test run, okay?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I need help. Help.
We will help. Okay, thank you. Safe travels. And now we're going to switch gears to Nathan. If you can unmute yourself, Nathan, and you have a question for Mohamed.
What I would like to say is to CJ and to you, Siobhan and Bill, thank you for this platform. And to Mohamed and Farah, Shukran is great, wonderful,
welcome.
beautiful. And having been at this for a while myself, I just want to say that what you have laid out is, in fact, helping to take it to a deeper level of clarity about how integrative healing wellness practices will evolve. And to give you an example, to take what you all are doing with a traumatic healing, then you want to solidify that. If you look at websites on the National Institutes of Health and you put in zinc deficiency and violent behavior, you get a lot of hits. And so therefore, once you achieve the healing with the traumatic therapy, to solidify it through such things as making sure that the diet of the child or the person includes the proper nutrition as well as the movements and so on, will help to just move this along and maintain what Tai Chi and Qigong and Chinese medicine and so on really specifies, which is the preventive aspects of things. So again, I say thank you.
Yeah, Nathan, one of the things I wanted to just mention is the way I see because, as we form the Global Transformation Project, we've gotten a lot of beautiful suggestions on how to create a more holistic education system. And diet is such a critical thing to be teaching kids. The approach that we're taking with the Global Transformation Project is we're just taking this crystalline arrow, because the science on mind-body practice is so overwhelming that it would reduce bullying, ADHD, all these kind of things, and boost immunity and all these things. And so, but the way that I see it in my mind is I see this arrow of getting mind-body practice and the preventative consciousness into education. I think once we get this arrow to pierce through that thick membrane to get educators all over the planet to start thinking in terms of preventative education, that I think that it'll create a wake of possibilities so that we can move into like dietary training, and cooking and, these kind of things, so that kids learn how to do these things. And learn how to cook things that are healthy and what's not healthy and processed crap and all that stuff. So I see this arrow of Global Transformation Project and the UN resolution to get mind body into public education as just kind of opening up a wake where we'll be able to flow other really important issues like you're talking about, which is diet. And, vitamin D3 levels, zinc levels, the science on all this stuff is massive as far as immunity and health. And we don't hear about these diet studies because nobody makes billions of dollars off of making sure people have D3 and zinc, because it's all generic, right? The only thing you hear about, I tell my students in hospitals all the time, the reason you don't hear about this science that we're talking about right now and that we talk about every month is because nobody makes billions of dollars off of it. So that's why you don't see it on TV or in popular magazines. That's all you see there. And so these things are never, with the current media system, where people aren't going to get exposed to this. And so we're trying to create a vehicle so that we can get this science out, and then use the United Nations as a vehicle to get this out. And then that same vehicle can be used for dietary education in the future, I think.
Well, you're absolutely right about that, Bill. And quietly, what's happening is that more educational systems throughout the world are incorporating permaculture projects with children, adults in the communities and so on, which is educating the children about the need of taking charge of how you raise your food, and not to be in need of the processed foods and be in need of following what is put on the TV or on the iPad, but the children start getting educated otherwise, and that also helps to change. That's a transformational process that helps to change it.
Yeah, see, I see. Once we get the UN resolution for mind-body education into public education, that vehicle is created. What could go in the pipeline right after we get that resolution is the permaculture, food-based education, the importance of preventative, healthcare and social care through food-based education. So I see this UN resolution it's like building a pipeline. And once we get that mind-body through the pipeline and into public education through the UN resolution, we can go right back to all those countries that co-sponsor that resolution with the permaculture and the food-based education, because all the science is there. Same thing with that. And so it's like I see what we're doing is we're building a crystal ship or a pipeline to get to the UN missions all over the planet and get past the bureaucracy to go to each individual country. Because one thing that I may not have mentioned before, one of the things that really fired us up on knowing that this is possible is that in 2015, the UN General Assembly passed a resolution creating the International Day of Yoga. So every year, people all over the planet do yoga. And just like World Tai Chi Day, it changes global consciousness in a positive way. And so we've got a chance to, really,
Bill, can I just point out too that everybody that comes to our program every month is a warrior for this. We're all, it's a how would you say, a grass movement that,
yep.
And you were saying earlier about the 1%. So 1% of us, we each do our part.
Yeah, and and it's like us just thinking these possibilities. It's rippling waves out there. And then when we talk to other people and get them to consider these larger possibilities, one thing that I found coming out of the pandemic and the lockdowns was an incredible deficit of inspiration and possibility. It's like, coming out of that, everybody had a pretty dismal view of the future. It's like we were just thinking, oh my God, what's the future going to be? And so us just, visualizing, an expansive, limitless possibility, all based on science. I mean, practical common sense things we're talking about here.
If I'm not a history major anymore, but if I'm correct, most epidemics have been fertile ground for major achievements, even though they were horrific. Things came out of the epidemics that, through science and also different ways of handling society's needs.
Yeah, I think this was a combination of things. I think in some ways, like one of the things that came out of the pandemic is that we all realized how precious other human beings are because we were denied human contact. And when we got back together, I mean, I remember people were like giddy, just giddy to get back together. And so that was a really beautiful thing, that connectivity that came out of the wake of that. I also think there were things that came out of the pandemic that showed us what we don't do to handle a pandemic. So.
And what's most important to us? Do we have any other questions out in any of the attendees? And thank you, Nathan, for chiming in.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan. That was beautiful.
CJ, is there anyone else that has a question?
Well, one thing while you're looking at that, Mohamed, I just wanted to say, seeing your presentation, I mean, I am so excited. I haven't felt like this since I was a little kid. I just see so much possibility in what you guys are doing. It's really
Bill,
good.
you're coming with me to New York to study with Mohamed.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Angie holds our calendar. I got to look at the
I'll
calendar.
talk to Angie.
Figure this all out. Yeah.
Well, you know, I wanted to mention, and I don't know, Mohamed, if you do anything with the diet, but I did want to mention something about the how important the diet is. And I don't know if you, because I'm sure you know my story where I was in a bad car accident 20 years ago and have chronic pain. And I discovered that the food was a tremendously important part of the healing process so that I'm not in pain. Do you incorporate anything that has to do with food in your
exactly
training? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, sure, because food affects our health a lot, and I teach that in another course. I call it the Detox Plus, and it's a kind of detoxing the system, and the word plus because detoxification is not only through food; it's also through the way you think and the way you feel. Because I teach in that course, and I say that the way we eat reflects the way we think. And there is a couple connection between the way we eat and the way we think. If you are able to clean our food.
Did he just freeze, or is it my end?
I'm hoping it'll pop back. Yeah, he's frozen.
For example, when you stop the meat, it's okay. For example, when you and I say it again, there is a couple connection between the way you eat and the way we think. So if you are able to clean your food or eat a pure food, and there is no chemicals in that food, actually in an indirect way you are helping yourself to clean your mind. And and also clean your emotions. There is a direct connection between the way we feel and the way we eat. For example, I detect how I feel because many times I'm not conscious about my feeling by the way I eat. For example, I found myself that I want a lot of sugar or a lot of chocolate. Then I can understand that there is a kind of imbalance in my system. Because if I need, for example, that sugary taste food, that means that I'm looking too much to the future. If you are eating too much salty food, that means you are in the past. There's something holding you in the past.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that because both of my granddaughters have been caught hoarding candy. I won't show them this video, but I'm ranting on my grandkids. Yeah, they found like 20 candy wrappers under their pillow or under their bed or whatever, and they're both my son and my daughter. They're different families, but they both did this. And one of my granddaughters, I started teaching her how to eat mindfully, and so I told her, when you're eating a treat like a piece of chocolate or something, don't just chomp it up and swallow it. I said, when you take it, just take that little piece of chocolate and just take a little tiny sliver off, and then just roll it around in your mouth and just taste it, and really enjoy it, and then take another little sliver. And she got really good.
Bill, I'm going to raid the cabinet now for chocolate. Stop that.
Well, make sure you eat it mindfully. But she got the hang of it, and she really started eating mindfully. And what that does is it gets us to, because you were saying that the sugar thing is looking into the future. Well, that's how if I take a big chocolate bar and I just chomp it all down, I'm in a hurry. I'm in the future, right? But if I take a little square of that chocolate, and I just completely make it a celebration of that little square, the science shows that it's very satiating. You feel very satisfied, and I saw that in my granddaughter. She's not gorging on the chocolate like she did, because and it goes right to the heart of what you were saying, which is you had that insight of sugar making you feel like you were too much in the future. And so I taught her how to take that chocolate and put it herself in the present, and because the science backs all this stuff up with
but actually
I I think we have
Yeah.
another question, CJ, Anita. And Mohammed, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say while she's getting Anita?
Actually, I can say that the imbalanced food affect our health in the state of stress. For example, when you eat too much sugary food, that will make your mind not able to focus. You cannot concentrate on one thing. And that's why people are their energy is running away like a monkey mind and different things. So the monkey mind, you can stop the monkey mind by limiting the chocolate and the sugary food, and eating too much. Even too much fruit is not good. According to Chinese medicine, you need to balance yourself. The fruit is healthy, but too much fruit will not be healthy. So anyone want to improve his meditation, his concentration, his energy, his focusing, he has to watch and observe the sugar, the amount of sugar intake in his day.
Thank you. Anita? Hi.
Hi, Siobhan. Hi,
Hi,
Siobhan.
Anita.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Mohamed.
Hi, Anita.
Yeah, so I'm here in Costa Rica right now listening to you on vacation. I did a lot of my career with Head Start, and I did my doctoral dissertation with early childhood. The membrane, the educational membrane, I'm envisioning that arrow trying to pierce the membrane of public education. It's a thick membrane, but the early childhood, starting with children 4 and under before they get into public education, that's not so hard to pierce.
Yeah, but
and I love the idea that Mohammed's already working with 4 and 5-year-olds. That is just fabulous.
But let's not limit ourselves by paradigms of the past, because the reason I say that is because we have never had the amount of science on mind body that we have today. And it was because scientists all put their careers in danger to build this mountain of science. So the way that we're approaching this, the Global Transformation Project, is we're not daunted by the past or people's, educators' prejudices or whatever. What we're saying is, okay, we have a technology that's very inexpensive that we could teach kids how to take their brains into alpha state consciousness, and it's measurable. We can measure whether they do it or not, whether they're being taught to do it. And what we know is that when they do that on a regular basis, what happens is their IQ becomes much higher, and their GRE reading score becomes higher, and their math proficiency skill becomes higher, and their verbal fluency becomes higher, and their bullying rates go down. And so we're going to take that arrow and aim it at the educational system worldwide, and we're going to get the UN to do the resolution, the same countries that voted in the International Day of Yoga for the very same reasons. And then we're going to put it out there, and then educators all over the planet are going to have that science that I just mentioned. Now, you tell me what kind of insane teacher or educator would look at higher IQ, better GRE reading score, higher math proficiency skill, better verbal fluency, less bullying, and say, oh my God, we don't want any of that in our school. You see what I'm saying? So the way that we approach it is that it's a form of, actually in our Harvard presentation, the way that I worded it, the fact that mind body is not already part of public education is a form of social sociopathy. It's a deranged consciousness to not have mind body in public education when you look at science. So that's our approach. Our approach isn't to cater to the people who have prejudices or have walls or whatever. Our approach is, this is so obvious. This is so obvious that anybody that said that they don't want to do it is, it's a form of pathology.
Well, Bill, we're going to soften that approach a little bit.
Well, I wanted to bring up. We should. No, wait. I don't see why we should soften that, because it's a fact. It's a fact. If we know that this will do all these things for kids, why not say that it's crazy not to do it? Why do we have to soften that? I don't know why we have to bend to unreality, because I'm not picking on you guys. I run into this constantly. I ran into it for 23 years with World Tai Chi Day. No, we don't bend to their distorted way of looking at the world. we provide a clear vision of where the world could go very easily, very economically, save trillions of dollars every year. We were just talking about dietary issues for children. The biggest killer in the world is unsanitary drinking water. When we get mind-body education, a resolution into public education, it's going to save trillions of dollars, not just 1 year, but year after year after year, trillions of dollars of savings. It would only take a tiny little slice of that to provide clean water to kids all over the planet. And that's the biggest killer of kids, dirty water. And so, you know, it's like we can't pretend like these solutions aren't the most common sense thing on the planet, because they are. We can't cater to the distortion of the society.
True, and I think you're right about that. One of the things that Anita, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that the veil, you know, while we're waiting for the membrane to be pierced with public education, the veil to the early childhood is going to be opening up sooner. So, and the younger we get them, the better. So I think, especially for Mohamed, there are organizations in the United States that cater to early childhood, and they might be super interested.
I think you're right about that. I also wanted to bring up somebody that I know is already, I mean, years ago, I created a program called Pacem Vita, which was a conflict resolution to mind-body Tai Chi program for kids. And one of the people that I trained was Marilyn Cooper, as well, you know, a number of people. She was one of them, and she has created the program called Pushing for Peace. And what I wanted to do is I just wanted to share with you just a little bit of the video. And Marilyn, are you there? Can I put you up here so you can speak to this? Yeah.
Marilyn, you can unmute. There you are.
Can you unmute, Marilyn? So let me go ahead and show the video, and then Marilyn can talk a little bit about the program. So
she's unmuted.
Okay, let me share the program. Oops, hold on. I forgot to make the sound go on. There we go.
Peace on Earth. It's worth fighting for, but fighting won't get us there. We are Pushing for Peace, a group of Tai Chi practitioners without borders. We push for peace to reduce violence, manage stress, and build empathy. Grandmaster Marilyn Cooper started the Peace Games in 1999 to reach youth in crisis. With hate crimes and shootings in American schools, Cooper knew in her heart that Tai Chi could help. She taught the Peace Games to children and young adults across the country. In 2010, with help from her middle school class, Cooper launched the official Peace Games. Today, the games are played all over the world, from San Francisco to Nepal to Kenya. We provide our Peace Games manual to schools and remote villages that don't have access to internet. Are you searching for a way to heal yourself and your community? We want to hear from you. To bring the Peace Games to your next classroom or team building event, please contact us. Experience the ancient art of Tai Chi as a fun game that builds lasting connections. Donate now.
Oh my God. Can I just say real quick, Marilyn, it's like, as we're doing these things, I'm constantly amazed that I'm in the presence of people like you that are doing this kind of thing. I mean, that is extraordinary.
Yeah,
we have to get that up on globaltransformationproject.org. We have to get that video up there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm a Guanping person too, Bill. I just wanted to say about Mohammed's program, that was amazing. That I have noticed, you know, Tai Chi is a lot based on observation because you copy movement from your Sifu and it's transmitted that way. And there are an inordinate amount of people in the visual arts that are painters, drawers that are in Tai Chi. So that presentation with the chroma and colors, that so resonated with me. I just get chills. It was beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you very much.
And then also, Bill, you have not been fighting the American public school system. I have a much easier time getting this in I've
Well,
done it in
yeah,
Paris.
but
in
okay,
Holland.
now let's not let ourselves be ruled by the dysfunction of society. What we're going to do, okay, just contemplate this for a second.
Go for it, Bill.
What we're going to, well, Bill ain't going to do it. We've all got it. We've all got to expand the vision of possibility here, because if we had 1 million signatures on that petition, when I go to the UN missions, it's going to be a lot more powerful. But just entertain this for a second. Okay, we thought this out very carefully. The first thing we did was we collected all this mind-body science that shows that it's insane that this isn't part of public education. So we have the case that is ironclad. Now, are we going to go to the public education system with it? No, because of the same issues that you and also, I'm sorry, whoever was talking earlier.
Yeah,
that's why we're not doing that.
Better luck with early childhood education.
What we're doing, think about this. What we're doing is we're going to take these signatures, at least 100,000, I'm hoping millions. We're going to take them to the UN missions. Now, why in the world do we think we could get UN missions to co-sponsor a resolution for mind-body education and public education? Because they already did it with the International Day of Yoga. It passed with 177 co-sponsoring nations. That was a historical record. Never in the history of the United Nations has 177 nations co-sponsored a resolution. And what was it? It was to promote the knowledge and use of yoga all over the planet for harmony and public health. So those same 177 nations, you can bet your bottom dollar, are going to be the first nations that we go to with our 100,000 or millions of signatures to advocate. And we have the draft resolution. You can go to the globaltransformationproject.org, look at the draft resolution. We've built the structure. We have a crystal ship that we've been building, and we have some of the top scientists in the world that are officially supporting this UN resolution. When you go to globaltransformationproject.org, for God's sake, don't dismiss the possibility of this. We can get this thing passed in the UN. We can use the UN to educate educators all over the planet. And then what will happen is that when a school teacher in a school system who knows the value of mind body, and they're all over the planet, when they go to the school board or when they go to the meetings or whatever, if they can walk in there and go, did you guys hear about this United Nations resolution? It's advocating mind-body education as a core part of public education because it increases IQ, GRE reading score, verbal fluency, math proficiency skills. And then how much power, how much moral support is that going to give those poor teachers in those schools that are trying to make this happen? Let's not define ourselves by the limitations of the past. Let us be visionaries of possibility that can expand a whole new way of looking at the future of our planet.
Well, yeah.
And this is the struggle. This is the personal struggle we're all having. This isn't a global thing. This is in here and in here. What do we think is possible? Because if we don't think it's possible, we can never convince anybody else.
I think it's possible, but I would like the approach even to just, and if anybody has any information about this, just to get the Peace Games, teachers could get a CE credit, a continuing education credit.
Yeah, well, no, it doesn't have to be either or. We want to get the Peace Games. I want to get this video, for God's sake. We should have this video like front and center on the global, because we have a page on Global Transformation Project that shows that this is already happening, around the world. These things are already happening around the world. And we want to put that front and center. We want to support that. All I'm saying is it only takes people 8 seconds to sign the petition, and it only takes a few minutes to send that petition around to everybody we know. So let's not start from the premise of that's impossible. Let's do something else. What I say is let's do everything that you're doing. I just said I'm amazed by what you're doing. I think it's so powerfully and so important. But I don't want to go into a mode of, oh, well, that's all I can do. I can't take 8 seconds to sign the petition. I can't get the people that are in our organization to sign this petition. We're trying to build an unprecedented mind-body coalition.
Bill, I don't think that's what they were saying. They're saying that as we work on this, it should be apparent to everyone in the United States that it's easier to get into non-public schools and younger kids. So I think that's all they're saying. It's
yeah, it is. It'll be easier to get into that. But I have gotten into public schools for 30 years now. I've been teaching in public schools. And if you go to our website, you'll see people doing this stuff in public schools.
You do it.
What we want to do is we want to give these teachers that are trying to do this the moral support of a United Nations resolution, and we can do it. There's a track record for doing it. And we organized a world event. If we can organize a world event grassroots out of an office in Kansas, you don't think we can get a UN resolution? This is all possible.
Absolutely
The biggest challenge is right here. Here is the biggest
and I agree, Bill. I agree that we need to that everyone needs to sign the petition. So I know Marilyn has done it. I know I've done it. We've all done it.
I think there's something more that has to happen up here. As a mind-body community, something more has to happen up here. We have to explode the prison of this possibility.
Okay, so we are, however, getting very close to the end. And we wanted to give everybody, first of all, a chance to go to chat and tell us where you're from. We have over 50 people here today. And so for those who could you let us know, just go to chat and put in your name, and it's opened up now. Before it was only going to Siobhan and me, but now it's opened up to everybody. So you can go there and click on everyone and let everyone know where you are from. Right. And then we are going to do a picture, a group picture. So to do a group picture, everybody has to turn their video on. So I'm going to take thanks, Marilyn, by the way. That was a fabulous video. I loved it.
Yes. While we're doing that, Mohamed, do you have any other information that you wanted to share with us?
Well, actually, I'm really glad and I'm happy that I'm here today and to be part of that movement. And I'm sure that this movement will have a very big effect to shift our consciousness about the illness and healing. And thank you very much. Thank you, Chopin, and thank you, CJ and Bill, and everyone who attended this lecture today and conference. I'm really thankful for you, and I would like that everyone can share the movement so we can collect more people to sign the petition, and that to make things done as we are looking for. Thank you very much.
So, I could try to help him find a space in New York.
Yeah, we told him, Marilyn.
Yeah,
we'll connect you. Mohamed, thank you so much on behalf of all of us for joining us today. And we look forward to hearing from you about, setting up a workshop in October in the New York City area, and perhaps Marilyn can help out with that. So we'll connect the two.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and if everybody could please turn on your video, go to gallery view so you can see everyone, and everyone turn on your video.
Wolfgang, we want to see you, Wolfgang.
We want to see everybody's face so we can take a nice picture of everyone who's here. Now, there's only half the number that were here, because we went up to like 60 something.
Yeah,
and there's 38 left, but that's the way these things go.
So Andrea, Heba, Anne, Minga,
and Donna,
Pam,
Donna Malloy, turn on your video.
Joseph,
turn on your videos.
Rama, Donna, Fatma, Amira.
So please turn on your video, everyone.
We have a lot of shy people. And some people are from New Zealand.
Oh, wow. What time it is there?
Yes, and everyone write from where you are. Where are you right now? Please write so we could know where you are from.
The farthest, I think, is New Zealand.
Wow.
We have
must be in the middle of the night there, right?
Some Egypt.
Poor people.
I think it's like first thing in the morning.
All right, so I think we got all the people who are going to get in terms of turning on their video. So I need everyone to smile.
Say
so everyone smile.
Hey, Jason. Hi, John.
I take a couple of them just to be sure. All right, pictures are taken. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking part in the picture. All right, so we got a lot of great people here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Bill, do you want to wrap us up here?
Yeah. I just want to thank everybody for coming and making these things possible. And please start spreading this stuff to other people, because like I said, we're bringing the top scientists, the top researchers in these fields to offer something really precious And a lot of these people, they really put their careers on the line to do this, the most important science in the history of science, according to Nikola Tesla. And so this is something that we need to get out. And so anybody that teaches, you should have all your students go to worldtaichiday.org and join our newsletter so that they get access to all this. It's all just an incredible free act of love by some really hardworking people that you're seeing on your screen right now, and just doing really beautiful work. And it should be on the front page of the New York Times, and it should be front and center on the BBC, but it's not happening.
It will, Bill. So we're doing it.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And so, well, yeah, but my point is that everybody needs to share this stuff, because everything is happening. Everything important today is happening on a grassroots level. It's not coming from the top down. And if you're going to wait for it to come from the top down, you're never going to see it. It's all going to be grassroots. It's all going to be people like us passing it on to other people. And so really, you need to share these things. You need to subscribe to our Global Transformation Project YouTube channel.
And of course, you need to contribute so that we can all continue to do this. Although none of us get paid.
If you contribute, it won't be because CJ and Siobhan and Bill are having a martini on a beach. We've never taken a penny from any of this. We put our own money into all this stuff. And if we ever make some real money off of it, like I want to sell 1 million copies of the new second edition of the Gospel of Science, because I want to change the way that people see the future of the planet. But if I did sell 1 million copies of it, you can bet that maybe not completely all of it, but almost all of it would go into getting the word out about the Global Transformation Project, because we can do this.
And Bill, that's what you and Angela have done all these years. It's blood, sweat, and tears, and you've dedicated so much time and energy. You weren't getting paid for World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. That was all from the heart. And if you could accomplish that, we're going to accomplish your goal for the Global Transformation Project. It is going to happen.
Could I add something, please? Just quickly. I was just teaching in Vienna the end of February to teaching peace games to a group of caregivers that work with a lot of refugees. And this is a project that I've been wanting to do for a long time, since I read about the problems of people in refugee camps. So it's called the Qigong Field Manual, and it's for free on my YouTube channel. And it's a 4-video series for refugees and their caregivers, for displaced people to do self-health care when they're traveling. It's also good for people when they're on planes, trains, buses, on the road. It goes into Paida and Gua Sha. You can take a rock from your native land and move your stagnant blood with it. So please share that. And it's being translated. Right, the translations aren't up. We have a Russian translator, an Arabic translator, Spanish, and French so far. So
that's really beautiful. That's really beautiful, Marilyn. And one thing I just wanted to add to that is that what we know from the science and the scientists we brought on is that when we practice mind-body practices on a regular basis, it increases the empathy and compassion parts of the brain, and it shrinks the stress and fear parts of the brain. And what the science is showing is that it doesn't stop at our skull. It ripples through the whole planet. It changes the consciousness of the whole planet. So if we can add another 1 billion meditators through a UN resolution to the planet, it's going to change the psyche of the whole planet. And we may be the last generation that sees wars, because if we can increase the empathy and compassion parts of the brain, that's how countries are able to negotiate out of a war situation. If countries don't listen to each other, then eventually it escalates into a war situation. And so by expanding this stuff throughout the planet, we could literally be the last generation on this planet that hears of anything called a war. It'll be something that we'll see in history
We also
books.
found out that the caregivers to the traumatized refugees, like one woman was treating a woman that fled Afghanistan, having been raped with her infant, and spoke no English and didn't read or write even in her native language. They pick up on trauma. So the caregivers need the self-healing as well. So that it's framed as such.
Marilyn, could you put your video link into chat for everybody, please?
Yeah, you mean the YouTube link or the video of the
YouTube would be great.
I did I did the one already. I already sent the one, Marilyn, that you sent me that we played. But I think Siobhan's talking about the one you talked about that we didn't play, the Qigong for refugees.
For the refugees.
Yeah, I have a playlist and it's on my YouTube channel. So let me just find that and I'll put it. Well, can it looks like I can only send direct messages to CJ.
Not anymore. We opened it up. That was a while ago, but now we've
Okay,
opened it up.
give me a minute. I'll get the playlist for everybody. Okay. It's good just for, middle-class people on airplanes too.
Yeah. I almost got a meditation on Pan Am. I was like right in the end of the negotiations with them to get it on. And then right when we were about to get it on the Pan Am flights, Pan Am went out of business.
Oh,
they must have been too cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are wrapping up. We're already 7 minutes over time. So we do want to wrap things up. If you can't get it to us right away, Marilyn, we'll send it next week.
Marilyn, that video was so gorgeous. The work that you're doing is so incredibly important. I just want to thank you for that. And everybody, thanks so much for coming. Please tell everybody that you can about these things. Get them to sign up at worldtaichiday.org, and then we'll make sure that they, get registered and they can attend these things on a monthly basis.
breathe in each other.